in the crowded market that we're in here in New York City, you get a very small piece of a very large pie for a whole goblet of money. So I don't do that anymore.
Okay. Andy Neal, if you could unmute yourself, I'm curious, are you using anything like I know I always like having you in these meetings, A, because you're a great guy, B, you're great at what you do, but you always have a very creative approach to your marketing. Have you used Zillow at all in your ads?
Well, thank you, first of all. No, I haven't. I do pay-per-click. That's the only money I spend on advertising. That's it.
And the pay-per-click is geared to who? Buyer or seller?
Just buyers in a specific town. That's it.
And how's that going now? How is it getting
Um,
people
it
to
slowed
actually
down.
sign the buyer broker agreement?
Well, it doesn't until I actually meet with them or until I get engaged with them. The idea of pay-per-click is just to give me the leads in the first place. But the leads aren't converting recently. It's been tough. It's slowed down a lot.
Okay, so you agree with that statement that the commission changes may have had something to do with that?
I'm not so sure if I do, because once I get people on the phone or to connect with me, the commission thing is not really a conversation. It is, but not until I get them on the phone. Pay per click has nothing to do with that, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Who else? Anyone else advertising on Zillow at this point? Again, my reasoning for asking this is to kind of juxtapose this with making CMAs as replacing the buyer leads with seller leads and trying as you know, and one of the ways to achieve that is through a CMA marketing campaign. Paula, good to see you again. I haven't seen you in ages. So are
Good
you,
morning.
good morning. Are you using Zillow or any of these other tools?
No, they've been calling me constantly. They just keep calling and calling.
Yeah.
So, they want the money. They've really gotten a bad rap for that, you know, uh, for a paid platform. Everybody knows that it's really not working. So,
Hmm. Okay. We've had people in here who swear by it. So
really,
yeah, I mean, but it's been a while. That's why again, I have nothing against uh, the company other than the fact that they basically stole the MLS and have kind of stamped our heads into the ground. But aside from that, they're very quite sweet. Um, but on a serious note, I don't think that it's been the best, uh, seeing advertisements of my own listings and saying that, okay, well, you could opt out of, when I have people calling me saying, okay, I don't like the fact that you are not disclosing that it's, whatever point they want disclosed. And I'll say to that person, well, why are you upset by this? Well, I advertise on Zillow and your listing keeps coming up and somebody keeps clicking it. And then they realize that they don't want to buy that property and I've kind of wasted my money. So can you change your listing? And I said to that person, do you hear the words coming out of your mouth? It really just blew me away. Okay, so that's the whole thing. For those of you that Zillow is working, use it. I mean, we've got to do whatever we can do to get business. But for those of you like my friends here and like many of you, I'd like to embrace the whole notion of being a listing agent. And the cornerstone to being a listing agent is getting a good quality CMA together on a consistent basis. Now, I'm going to give you the tools that you need to be able to get started. I could also say that as a service, we are doing this for you. So if you wanted to talk to us about putting together a CMA a day for you, we would be happy to talk with you about our program. It's affordable, it's great, and it's in place of all the different marketing that you may have had in the past. But so far, pause. I promised you some stuff here. We're going to actually get into that right now. So, as far as the CMA a day, how many people consider themselves farmers, real estate farmers? Okay, nobody's got one, two. Delaney's shaking. Delaney's not only shaking her head; she's grimacing. Why are you grimacing? That's a grimace, I think. This is no, maybe.
No, no, I guess too intimidated about I guess the money that you have to put into it and then the time frame that you have to. I mean, I think the recommendation is like 6 to 12 months is when you would actually see a return with
for
farming.
for CMA.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said geo farming.
Geographic farming, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay, well I'm gonna convince you before the end of this meeting that that's worth it. Deborah, I saw you had your hand up. Deborah Seifkin, you gotta unmute yourself.
Yes,
Want to tell
so
everyone who you are and where you are?
okay, my name's Deb Siefkin. I am in Denton, Texas, part of Dallas, Fort Worth. I live in a 55 plus community and it is my geo farm.
It is your and how great. I'm so happy to have you here. Deb, you want Deb or Deborah?
Deb is fine.
Great, Deb. So let's talk about the size of your farm and we're going to talk about what we could do with that farm.
Okay, so actually there are over 3,000 homes in this area. But I also I'm a broker. I have another agent that's working the area with me. 3,000 is just too many at this point for sending postcards on a regular basis and that kind of thing. I just find it a little bit cost prohibitive. But so that's one of the reasons I'm interested in let's talk about what we can do with email and text.
Okay. So, but Deb, just to go a little bit further, 3,000 homes in the community. Do you know the average price point?
450 to 5.
Good. And 55 plus. So I guess you have between 7 and 8% turnover a year, maybe
Yeah, probably about that. I
like
think it's
300
just a
sales,
little
three,
bit,
four
it's
hundred.
a little bit lower because the community is about 23 years old. I've been here since the very beginning. People come and they stay. I mean, a lot of people, they don't leave until they absolutely have to leave.
Sure. And I think that's the hallmark of a great community, right?
Yep, it is.
Is you get that. So that's good stuff.
And I
Okay.
do have competition.
Okay. So talk about that for a second.
There, I don't care about being the predominant. I don't care about being the first in the first place out here. I just want a steady flow of business. Um, there when I first was here, there were a couple of brokers that were independent brokers. Since then, there have been a lot of real estate agents that have realized, oh wow, what a great community this is. So there's probably, we call them outlaws, the people who don't live here, but there's probably 10 to 15 actual agents that actually live in the community and are working it.
Okay. And how many deals will you have had? I mean, again, am I getting too personal with you? I
No,
don't.
it's okay. It's
Okay.
okay.
So Deb, how many deals, without telling what you made, how many sides do you think you're going to do in 2024?
2024, because I was doing some other stuff, is not a good year. I've consistently, prior to 2024, did about 10 sides, which
Okay.
makes me happy. I mean, I'm not a mega agent, but that brings in a nice income.
That's great. Listen, you know, I love it. I love Deb. I love what she's saying here. Yeah, some people are in crush it mode, and other people realize you can make a good living and live the life that you want. I think I'm going away for the first time in 25 years over Thanksgiving. First time in 25 years. I'm 56, so you better start doing this stuff, right? You know, you got to break a couple of eggs to have an omelets. But I'm gone literally in our busiest season because I've set the stuff up to be able to work that. Okay, Deb, I'm going to come back to you in a second. Who else is doing any farming that wants to chime in here? It's really important, and it really is important to hear from all of you about some of the farming that you're doing.
I'm trying.
You're trying. Okay, so Andy, what's going on with that?
So I'm sending out these magazines from Reminder. Is it Reminder Media? The one where they do the magazines every 2 months for you. I do a Santa event every year in my community. But I've never, other than my own house that I bought, I've never sold a house in my community and listings come up. It's so frustrating.
It certainly is. What do you attribute it to?
There's two other realtors here, but there's only 150 homes. It's a small exclusive community, so it's hard to, there's not a lot of turnover. That's the first thing. But the ones that do come up for sale just go on with either the lady that's been living here since day one, who's an agent, or they go with a random agent from out of area. It's tough. And I've been farming it since I've been living here, 6 years.
Sure. Let me throw some things out there. First of all, Daniel, who's always with us, our our sentinel, our producer. Daniel, do you mind putting the workbook into the chat here? And everyone let us know if that workbook, if the link works. If it doesn't, we'll email it to you individually. We made a workbook on just exactly this, creating your own CMA. The CMA process is phenomenal because what it's really doing is it's going to the neighbors, and it could be a part of your circle prospecting. There it is. It's in the link. So for those of you who can't get it, please just shout out in the chat here, and Daniel will get it right over to you. He's very good at that. But if you really stop and think, there's a lot of people have coined the phrase, I wish I did, but I didn't, a CMA a day. If you really do have a CMA on a timely basis, something's going to happen with the business. And I would say, especially for those of you who've been spending 500, 1,000, sometimes several $1,000s on things like Zillow or where to get the buyer leads, while Delaney was brave enough to say, it takes so long. You're right. It might take a while to actually get the farm, but boy, is it worth it. It's bloody poetry, man. Once you actually get in there, you've got some great opportunity with that. And here's the other thing, going back to Deborah. Yes, I love the fact that you're able to get yourself 10 to 12 deals a year. And you could probably go on like that indefinitely. For those of you who want to go way beyond that, here's the thing. Deborah, Deb, are you still with me? She's got to unmute. Maybe she's not.
I am. I just was
Deb,
trying to download the book.
Okay, well, we'll get you in 1 second. So here it is, Deb. And for those of you who've heard this before, just bear with me. Name a cola, the soda. Name a brand of cola. There's a reason I'm doing this, guys.
Dr. Pepper.
That's not a cola, but name it.
I don't drink colas.
So give me another one.
Pepsi.
Great. Give me another one.
Coca-Cola.
Great. Can you give me another one?
There is another one, and let's see.
Great.
Yeah.
You were perfect. You led me right into my point here. So we'll stop right there. Pepsi, Coke, RC, Royal Crown. Some people might say Shasta. Now, why did I bring that up? Your capacity, all of you, and all of your customers' capacity for remembering a brand is very, very, very slim. Okay? There is the big person in the neighborhood. There is the other big person in the neighborhood who thinks that they're bigger. We got Coke, we got Pepsi. We could have a debate after this about whether Coke or Pepsi's bigger or greater than the other. I'm not going to do the Pepsi challenge here. And then you have everything else. Everything else could be fine. In the case of Deb, she doesn't want to, she wants to enjoy her life and she wants to do that. However, if you want to be the Coke or Pepsi within the neighborhood, there's got to be a certain amount of inertia. I'm very happy to say that as of this morning, I am number 3 in my community. So I guess I'm RC Cola, or you could call me Snapple. I don't know, one of those there. But the point is that when you actually get through and are able to penetrate and begin to build on that mindset that you are the dominant person, you're going to be able to win and win big. There are 728 homes in my farm, and to make myself famous to that group of people is a lot easier than what Deb just said, making herself famous to 3,000 people. Does everyone agree with that statement? Maybe, kind of, sort of? Okay. So let me go in with what we're actually doing here. Deb, were you able to download it? And was everyone able to get the workbook?
I got it. Thank you.
Maybe it's easier to say, if anyone has not gotten it, please post in the chat and we will take care of you. Let me just go through a couple of things that you need to think about, and we'll go from here. First of all, this is Claude. Claude is a competitor of ChatGPT. If you want to start a CMA campaign, respectfully, I want you to subscribe to this. The better version is $20 a month. In the scheme of life, this is no money whatsoever, and I'm about to show you why that's really important. If I look up St. Andrews, right here, and I'll enlarge this, it says St. Andrews comps. Now, what is different about Claude than ChatGPT? Claude has something called projects. You see the projects right up here. And one of the projects I made was the comps, 2024 comps within my community, St. Andrews Country Club. And taking a look over here, you could see what is currently on the market in St. Andrews that was updated 7 days ago. Daniel and I will meet and redo this as well. Then we've got my bio and my team bio. We got some information about St. Andrews. And then we have the comps, and we can take a look at what the comps actually represent. And you're going to see a whole load of gobbledygook, right? Can everyone see the screen? This is literally a data dump from the MLS. This is every single deal that has happened here in St. Andrews. And we got a noticeable pattern here. If you look closely, we got the number, this is the number 30. That's the 30th one put in. There's the MLS number. This was closed. That's the address. This is the amount that it was closed for. This is the MLS district and county area and the square footage. And all of this is actually in here. Now, why is this great? How come I can't make it a little bit smaller? Let's get this here. Sorry, guys, do not attempt to adjust your television set. This is just Ed trying to figure out what he's doing here. Okay, so I'll go back to St. Andrews here. Okay, so I took the time. Let me go to see everyone again. I took the time. I have the Claude subscription, a whopping $20 a month, no money. So you're going to subscribe to this today, okay? It's just silly to even debate it. If you're going to do this, if after 1 month you think I'm wrong, you lost 20 bucks. And if you think it's that bad, call me. I'll send you a check. It's not the worst thing in the world. Just do it. I hope I made that fairly clear. So you could then go ahead and you've got your data dump that goes into this. Now, let's say I have someone that says to me, now that this is set up, we have a home 17657 Foxborough Lane. Wants to list. I am going to input data from the tax records, and I want you to help me make a CMA. Do you understand? If so, please say input data. Okay. Most of you are used to using ChatGPT and Claude and all these LMs by just asking a question. We're building on something here. So great. It says input data. Fantastic. Let's just take a look here. I'm now going to go to Palm Beach, which is, sorry. I'm going to go to Palm Beach with the Palm Beach County property appraiser. And I'm going to get the address 17657 Foxborough Lane in Boca Raton. Great. Now watch this, guys. This is the fun part, okay? I'm going to just do a copy of everything in here. I don't even give a damn what it is. I'm just literally copying everything. I'm going to take that, and now I'm going to put this into the LLM, into Claude. Okay, so great. Now it's got this whole thing. Let me analyze the property, and it's going to give what they consider the current market value based on some other factors. This is not correct at this point. We're not done yet, but the rest of the stuff was 4,043 square feet, built in 1986, single story pool, gives the golf course as a generator, high-end finishes, blah, 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 blah. So now it's doing this. It's saying, looking at the sales from St. Andrews, reviewing comps, I'll help create a CMA. Would you like me to filter out similar homes? And I could say, yes, we're going to need to play with the price here a little bit because it is off on their initial choice. But I'm going to say yes. Let's see what it comes up with for me now. Okay, now it's taken some time to actually think about it. And I geek out on this and I like to see the programming. You guys don't necessarily have to. But it's taking what it's perceived as certain comps and it's doing its own analytics for us. And it's even giving a little heat map of what's going on with the comps in the in the area. We recommended price list 2.4 to 2.7. Okay, getting a little bit closer. Now I'm going to say, based on what you know about the Edmund Bogan team, and what you know about St. Andrew's Country Club, I want you to create an email CMA to the owner, pitching my services. Okay, so now we get that out. Okay, now this happens to be my home, so it knows the name because it looked it up in the tax records. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Bogan, as fellow residents in hold on, let me get this. As fellow resident in the area's leading luxury real estate expert, I prepared some details, blah, 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 blah. So it will go on. This is not an excuse not to read this, but you've got the start now of an email giving some of the comps and giving what's going on. This isn't good enough for me. I'm going to say, please give actual comps. The subject property is on the high end, and the primary components are new. Please price at around at north of 730. Sorry, 730 a foot, and show comps that justify this. Again, there's many different ways of doing this.
So it's my dad. Your dad is in a strip club in Las Vegas. Ha! Gotcha.
I don't know who's got their audio on, but they might want to turn it off. We don't need to know about your dad in a strip club in Las Vegas. So great. Now looking at the top tier sales in St. Andrews, 730 a foot. It's actually given the comps. You could look them up on your own. Let's see, 764 Castle Bay, and it's got 7168 Northway Circle. It's got these other properties here. And now I'm going to finish this off by saying, thank you. Please write a detailed email with comps and a pitch for why the homeowner should meet with us.
Oh no.
Okay, I got to see who's talking here.
Oh, so
Guys,
bad.
somebody has their, yeah, Randy, I think it's you. If you don't mind turning that off or muting yourself, that would be great. Okay, so here we go. You know, exclusive valuation analyst for 17657 Foxborough Lane. Opportunity to maximize your investment. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Bogan, St. Andrews leading luxury specialist with over 100 million in country club sales. I've analyzed a recent transaction that demonstrate your home's exceptional market position. Again, you don't like the format in the LLM, you could change it. It's giving all the information that we actually want. It's giving the ideas of what your property is worth, just some ideas here. And what you could literally do is copy, paste it, and then crank it out in an email to your potential customer. You could do that every single day. Terry, go ahead.
Can that information be put into a format that looks fun?
Sure. Well,
Does Claude do that?
That's what Daniel does for me. He makes everything fun. Okay, I don't make it so fun. Everyone needs a Daniel to make things fun. You know, and that's why I'm saying we do this now as a service for our clients, where we will walk you through and actually do all the work and all the heavy lifting. My formula for succeeding with this is that you do this 20 times a month. So one day, 5 days a week, one each day. You put it in the 2 or 3 day FedEx. Somebody help me out here about FedEx or specialized mail. If it's 3 days, I think it's $17, $15. Daniel, maybe, kind of, sort of. Help me out. Anyone? 15? Didn't hear you. It's 10.5, so 15. So great. 10.5. I'm this much, guys. Okay, 10.5, $15. You're going to do that 5 days a week. That's $75 a week times a month. For $300 a month, you're now hitting hard your community. Now, we could talk about other things that you need to do with this, but how much more successful do you think you would be if you got this kind of quality information out? Why do you send it over FedEx and not just an email? You can do it by email. I'm not saying if you have no money, if you don't want to spend money, try it with the email first. But $300 a month, you guys are spending a fortune on Zillow, a lot more than that. And this is actually hitting right into the folks that you need to get to. Andy, was that a hand or were you just stretching? No? Okay. What else? Is anyone using a CMA a day strategy? I'm sorry that Cliff isn't here because he's doing what I'm telling him to do, and he has 3 listings now as a result of it. So this works, guys. This works. It's one of those things that if you've not been doing this type of thing, you can actually reach out and get your customers and be able to hit it hard. So what? Okay, Delaney, please.
Sorry, you said you're mailing them out. Is that right?
What we are doing, we are physically FedExing them to a select number of clients. And more often than not, somebody's going to say to you, you know what, Ed, it's food for thought. Thank you. When I'm ready, I'll give you a buzz. Other people have said, yeah, I've got a listing appointment next week. Actually, the week after, he's coming in from Michigan. He got the FedEx. It just so happened his father passed away, who was the beneficial owner of the house. And he said that he's ready to sell. So boom, I've got a listing appointment. I mean, that's on fire. We know that that's something that we could actually go get, and it proves the value. It doesn't take a lot of success with this to make it incredibly cost effective. Do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't take a lot of success with this because it's really not a heck of a lot of money. It's your time. And certainly the initial setup could be a bit of a pain in the neck. I mean, you really need to go through if any of you want help setting up your LLM, setting up Claude. But I highly, highly suggest if you're going to do this on your own, get a Claude account, get into the projects, start uploading it. Again, if it doesn't work after a month or two, that's it, drop it. You're not locked in for 12 years or anything like this. Is nothing. It's nothing in the scheme. I don't want anyone to let a small dollar amount get in the way of their success. There's some real tools out there that could really, truly help. Follow-up. Let's talk about that for a little bit. When you actually have that coming through, one of the things that we love to follow up with, and I could show you, this is something now in our follow-up boss. Sorry. I'll share my screen in a second. Follow-up boss is our CRM. Too much on my screen. And we can go through all of this. If I take a look at Gary Hemon. So Gary's someone I know in my community. One of the things that this has, which really is awesome, is the birth date. His birthday was the day before yesterday. And this is the email that automatically got sent out to him. Where is the thing? Oh, well, where is it? I've got a dog that bounces up and down. There we go. So this automatically goes out to all my people on their birthday. I don't even need to think about it. If anyone got something like this from me, I hope that it doesn't kill our friendship, that it was an automated bot that sent this to you. But as crazy as this is, this gets tons of responses. People love it. People open it up and they see it. So that's just one other tool. I wanted to throw that out there to you to keep up with people within the community. Another thing to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is that by tracking who's got what leads have actually received the information from you, you're going to be able to continue the campaign. In other words, I don't want it to just go to the CMA that they get and that you actually stop. My goal for you is to not only get the physical address, but to be able to work with them. If you do speak to them and follow up, did you get my email or did you get my CMA? Yeah, but I'm not ready to sell. Okay, do you mind if I email you information periodically? Sure, great. I yell at everyone on my team lovingly, lovingly. Get a few new email addresses a day. It is not that hard. And the payoff is just tremendous. The cumulative effect, if you get one email address a day, it means in 1 quarter, in 3 small months, you have yourself 90 email addresses. And these are people that you've actually met. Remember, I coined a phrase called the law of crap, Edmund's first law of crap. Capture, reward, automate, and plan. If you could remember that acronym, you could do very well. We want to capture the leads. We want to reward them with great content. Everybody loves seeing the CMAs about their own homes. They love the data. If you go in with a reason why, they get annoyed it's too low. My house is special. My house is better. Great. Invite me over. Let's find out why your house is special. How did we screw this up? Let's correct that. That's going to be the thing that actually works and is able to work really, really well. So I just, who else? What are the means are we using to farm? We're going to be focusing more and more on this farming. I also want to say at this time that we've got a meeting on Friday, 12 noon, giving our California friends a break. That's 9 a.m. California time. It's building your digital farm, establishing an online presence. We're going to go through all the things that I'm doing right now, what I know some of my clients are doing to be able to get themselves dominated within the farm area. Spoiler alert, I have a Instagram account specific just for my community. Might sound very trite. There's only 260 people in that group, but every one of them either live here or the adult children that live here. It is a very, very, very powerful tool. Don't let anyone talk with you otherwise. Livette, thank God you've got your hand up. Hi, Livette.
Hi. So I use KV Core, which
Yep.
I hate, by the way, but I do love their text blast feature. I have everyone in my neighborhood in my KV Core database. I constantly check the solds and add new people each month. And I just send them, the going-ons in the neighborhood. I'm a member of the Civic League. I'm also the head chair of the Zoning and Improvement Committee on our Civic League. So I'm always sending them updates about what's going on in the neighborhood, things to look out for. And of course, when I get listings, I send that out as well, text blast. Yeah.
Okay. And how's biz?
To be honest with you, I am known as the neighborhood agent, but I don't get the business yet from it.
Why?
I've received calls from people. It's not constant business. I'm not gonna say I haven't gotten any business, but by this point, you would think it would be a little bit more constant. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we need to work on that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, up until a couple of years ago, everyone said, yeah, Ed, one person said it perfectly. I think you're a great guy. I just don't look at you as my broker.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard medicine to swallow. God, that's like kick me in the gut a little harder. Why don't you?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a truthful statement. And I know based on that, you see, too many of you take it too sensitively. I've told stories about what some clients have said to me, and it can be very insulting or hurtful. But on the other hand, you really can learn from this and grow and make your changes to be able to grow your business out. Sometimes the feedback you get from that is just remarkable. So I want to stress to all of you, instead of taking it too personally, find a way to actually adapt. Okay, so we know that we've got to do the CMA a day. We know that you could deliver this in multiple ways. You could either send it via email if you don't want to spend any money at all. You can try and do regular mail. If you want to test my theory, why don't you do this if you want to save a little money with this? Send half of them over regular mail and the other half send over FedEx. And then after a quarter, 90 days, tell me what actually happened. Okay? Can anyone do that for me? We're talking about 60 CMAs in that time. If you want to take my CMA challenge, here again, you're going to make money. I'm positive you will. You will make money this way. You just have to actually do the work. You have to actually put it in. So 30 that you're actually mailing by the snail mail, 30 that you're sending with FedEx. And the snail mail costs a couple of dollars. And the FedEx we just said was 15 times 30. I'm asking you for $450 plus the other one, let's say $500, a little bit more over the course of a quarter. This is no money, guys. This is just the cost of doing business. You gotta dig in and really be able to get that done. So I think it's important for you to consider this. Other thing, if you notice when I went into the LLM, when I went into ChatGPT or Claude in this case, I put I did just a data dump of the information I want the LLM to see. I just did a data dump of all the information it's supposed to get. The beautiful thing about what's going on with artificial intelligence today is that it will search and execute whatever you ask it to do. So if the data is there, you could drill down and find the data, and you could be able to get that. From there, you could take that. Daniel, quick question. Is there a CMA template in Canva? Is there such a thing?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so? Okay. I know you weren't expecting this, Daniel, and if it's too late, then don't let me drive you too crazy. The poor guy's working his ass off here. But if you could pull up a template or so, if there's anything that you could share and show, because there was somebody who asked, is there a way to make it prettier? Canva is a great way to actually go about doing that. The workbook that we had, that was made in Canva, right, Daniel? Okay, so that's there. So now you can actually make it a little bit prettier. What type of follow-up should go along with the CMA? Let's see a show of hands. Who's got some ideas here? Aton or Andy or Delaney or Terry or Pat? Pat, I look at Pat's here. Any of you, what could be the appropriate follow-up to something like that? Just blurt it out.
Door knocking.
Phone call.
Door knock.
Door knock. Would love that.
Phone call.
Phone call. Mazel tov. Love that. Who said phone call?
Deb.
Deb. Great. Okay. So phone call, door knock. What else?
Drop voicemail.
Drop voicemail. Great. Drop voicemail like slide broadcast or slide dial. Okay. Has anyone heard of that? Ringless voicemail? Anyone? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So for those of you who have not, did you know that I could call 1,000 people with a robot and I could leave a voicemail in their voicemail box without it ringing on the phone? Provided I have their cell phone, I will be able to get a voicemail to them. You know, many of you may have known that. There's a service called Sly Broadcast. Daniel, when you have a moment, please put the link up in the chat. Yeah, it's called Sly Broadcast. And with that, it will bypass the ring. It will leave a voicemail. Here's something that you probably do not know. With the magic of AI, you could actually mail merge that voicemail. So instead of saying, hey, it's Ed Bogan, I'm sorry I missed you. I wanted to talk with you about blah, 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 or did you get my CMA? It can now replace the hey with a little code in what you're saying, and it will give the first name. So it could be, hey, Delaney, this is Ed. I sent you a CMA the other day. Did you receive it? Now the thing mail merges. Isn't that huge? Now it's a personalized message that's actually going out to these people. Notice, where's the cold calls in all of this? There are none. There are no cold calls in this process. You FedEx them a CMA. You've gone to Sly Broadcast, and using an AI and using a mail merge, you dropped into their voicemail a very specific message using their first name. Hey, Delaney. Hey, Andy. Hey, Pat. Hey, whoever it is. You know, did you receive the CMA? I was hoping to talk with you about it. Please give me a call. That's it. That's it. If you want to drill down even deeper, we could do even more. We could talk about the volume of times. How many times do you have to follow up with somebody before you could call it quits? Who knows this? There's a lot of speaker gurus who've said this. Okay, hold on. We've got
6.
We got, is that, hold on. Was that Paula? What was that?
6.
You look like my nephew. I'm this. I'm this. This is how old I am. 6. It's actually more than that, believe it or not. Statistically, it's 8.
8. Wow.
Statistically, it's 8. But Paul, you're on the right track. Most people give up. Who gives up after 2 or 3 at the most? Come on, myself included. Thank you. Okay, we give up. We give up, but we shouldn't give up, because the good news is if you don't, there's fruit at the end of that. There's a value to that. So if you're able to do this, guys, I don't know where we're going to end up in the next couple of years with all the AI. I've got a client who I've sold him 3 houses, and I was out with him the other night, and he said, you better figure out something else to do with your career because AI is going to take over for you. I'm like, AI is going to take over for me because, yep, you're going to totally be replaced. I said, didn't I set you up on a date? He said, yeah. I said, didn't I deal with your air conditioner people? He said, yeah. I said, didn't I guide you through each and every single process? Yeah, but the AI is going to do it all. I said, the AI is going to work for you about 5 minutes and then say, nah, fuck this. I'm going to go back to kids' term papers. You're an asshole. And, that's the relationship I got with the guy. Okay. There's no way I'm going to work with it. But he does have his point that there is a lot of stuff coming down the pike. And, people say, well, it's going to make you better. In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. Our careers will be threatened in the future. There will be things that we need to look out for. But I'll tell you this, it's better than hiding your head in the sand. Let's figure out now what we could do to actually rise at the highest level. Pat, please go ahead. Tell everyone who you are and where you are.
Hi, I'm Pat Mayer from the Jersey Shore.
Great.
So welcome. Thank you for having me. I
Thank you for
appreciate it.
coming.
Thank you. So by chance, do you have a sample of what the actual report looks like?
Yes, we
And,
will.
and
Go ahead.
do you find this more effective than like the Zillow estimate sending out?
Here's the
So,
thing.
but
It's garbage in and garbage out. Zillow doesn't take into account so many factors. How old is the roof? My house on this side of the road here, you can look at it this way. My house is over here. On the other side, we've got my house and golf course. On the other side, you got house, golf course, and the highway, Florida Turnpike. Yeah, that face, Pat. That's the face that I have as well. And Zillow looks at this and they say, under those circumstances, if I'm 4,153 square feet and the guy across the same street has the exact same thing, theoretically, Zillow would say it's the same value, but it's
right.
not. So there's a lot of other moving parts. I want to also say, Pat, because you brought this up, this is not, I repeat, not an excuse for you to just lean on the AI and do nothing. Everything I'm doing, I'm working with it. I'm actually reading. If you don't like reading, there's a product called Speechify that will read your text for you. Has anyone seen Speechify? Has anyone not seen Speechify? Is anybody there? Okay, Speechify is great because I have it clone my own voice and it reads to me in my own voice. When I hear it reading, it's like I'll pull that up over here for a second and see what let me just see if I could do a quick one here. Just to kind of sell you on the idea of Speechify.
The Bridges, Delray Beach. The Bridges offers luxury single-family homes with sizes from approximately 2,400
here
to over 7,500 square feet. Price between $1.35 million and $2.70 million. Residents have access to a 17,000 square foot clubhouse, resort-style pools, fitness centers, tennis courts, and
So it's pretty cool, right? I mean, that was my voice. It was cloned. And what I do, I get reading fatigue. So what I do is I scan text for the books or I scan this and I will actually read along with this and I could put it at high speed. I could put it at like 1.7 times the speed and I'm able to consume a lot more information. There are hack after hack after hack. Right now, there's some great tools to be able to utilize. And for those, I mentioned this because so many of you said, yeah, I get reading fatigue too. Yeah, I don't, that's it. Pat, go ahead. Oh, that was it? Okay. Who else before we get to wants, needs, and brags? Was this helpful at all? Maybe? Did it suck? I hope I didn't suck. Eitan will tell me what I did wrong at the end of this.
We all need an Eitan.
We all need an Eitan. That's it. Eitan is both the devil and the angel sitting on my shoulders. Okay. You sucked. No, you weren't. You were good. Anyway. Okay, guys. Wants, needs, and brags. Now's the time in the meeting where I like to talk about what you want, what you need, and what you'd like to brag about. I'm going to brag that for the first time in 25 years, I'm off to California for Thanksgiving, and I am so excited by that. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see my kids. I'm going to make it back. There's an agent out there with the Eklund Gomes team in Douglas Elliman who sold the Brady Bunch house. The last time I was there, she said, Ed, why didn't you call me? I could have gotten you inside the Brady Bunch house. My friend now owns it. So I called her up and I said, well, if you really mean that, I'd love to take you up on it. She's giving us a private tour in there. And so expect some great social media out of me. For those of you who are too young and don't know the Brady Bunch, then it's not going to mean much. But for all of you, great, I'm going to be Bobby, Cindy. I'll be looking for Alice. I'll be doing all
Marsha, Marsha.
Marsha. Oh, I got to get a football to fly against my face. You know how my nose. Anyway,
I can help with that, Ed. I can help.
I bet you could. You'd love to throw a football in. So that's something that is going on. Wants, needs, and brags. Livette, go ahead.
So this past Sunday, well, Saturday evening, a lady reached out to me about selling her house, and we set the listing appointment for the next day, Sunday. And I'm walking out the door. As soon as I shut the door, I realized I locked my keys in the car. So my car keys, my house keys, everything is in the car. So I'm standing there in my driveway trying to pivot really quickly, think of, okay, how am I going to get to this listing appointment? Because I'm going to this listing appointment. So my neighbor, he sees me out there just standing in the middle of my driveway. And he says, hey, what's going on? You okay? And I said, well, I locked my keys out my car. I have a listing appointment to go to, and I'm trying to figure out something. So he was like, do you need a ride to the listing appointment? So he took me to my listing appointment. I had poor man sitting out there over an hour waiting on me, got the listing, came home, got in the house. I called my girlfriend. I remember she had a spare key to my house. She's had it for 16 years and she still had it. So.
Okay. Guys, take a page from Livette's notebook. It's not about ever giving up. She was going, did you listen to her words? I was going to get to that meeting. It's going to happen. You just can't tolerate it. Good for you, Livette. I'm really happy. I hope it sells quick, and I hope you come up with a new key strategy. I'm forgetting keys now. I'm forgetting everything.
I put a lockbox on my door the same day, actually.
I mean, I would take my kids to the veterinarian at this point. I just forget everything. But so who else? What wants, needs, and brags?
I got one.
Okay, Terry, go ahead.
I've got 2 new team members on my team, or that was fairly redundant. And one of them just got his first listing. We went to his first photo shoot. This is a commercial building that's being used as a church right now, and the deacon was supposed to be there to let us in, and he didn't show up. And my team guy is like crestfallen, and I'm like, okay, how are we going to pivot? What are we going to do here? We only have a certain amount of time to get the pictures taken, do the floor plan, blah, blah, blah. What are you going to do? And he, after picking his chin up off the floor, said, well, we have pictures of the outside of the place, which is most important because it's on a very busy, 2 busy intersections, a very prominent corner. The inside looks like a church, so we don't really need high quality photos of those. It's a big rectangular room. We don't really need a floor plan of that. So he came back the next day, took photos with his camera, which are perfectly fine, and met me afterwards and was just giddy. So I'm glad that my new teammate has a new listing and he was able to
improvise.
We didn't lock our keys in the car, but we were locked out of our own listing. So he was able to adjust accordingly and move forward. Yay.
Fantastic. I think, again, find a way to pivot. I once had a client who was a moving and storage company, and he was moving a ballet theater, a ballet studio. And they had 12 baby grand pianos that they had to move into the new location. And he went over to the new location just to kind of size it up. That's the kind of guy he is. I mean, he really likes to make a plan. And he looked at the elevator and he said, this doesn't look exactly right. And he gets out the measuring tape and found out that the elevator was 1 inch too small to fit any one of those baby grand pianos. Okay. So what happens? It's at least they couldn't get out of it. They had to actually remove part of the facade of the building and hoist them up to the cost of a bloody fortune to get this done. What I love about the story is every business has a piano that doesn't fit through the door. Every business has a piano that does, everyone where everything is just, you're going along, everything is great, and then suddenly you really get screwed up. I mean, we all go through that. So I thought that it was, and again, depending upon how well you could pivot is really going to be the hallmark of the winners versus the losers and all this. There's got to be a way. You got to find it, guys. Okay, so we got Friday at 12. Also, next Wednesday, we do not have Rain Nation. It is the day before Thanksgiving. So I know a lot of people are traveling that. However, we will have a meeting on Friday at noon, the day after Thanksgiving, for those of you who don't want to get caught up into the shopping world, if you would like to join. Again, I don't suspect it's going to be a huge meeting, but we are going to be having that anyway. I really don't want to go a week without seeing guys. I'll be operating from California because all of you know that I will be there, and hopefully I'll have some good videos and all that to share as well. Guys, there's so much greatness out there. There really is. There's so much. Everybody you see lives in a structure. I mean, unless they're homeless, God help them. But everyone you see has something. There's really, you just have to be able to recognize the difference between the noise in your head and the stuff that you could do to push yourself forward. And you need to just do it every single day. Success is not bought, it's rented, and the rent is due every day. I wish I wrote that. I didn't, but that was
Was that AI, Edmund? Did
no,
AI?
that wasn't AI. That wasn't AI. I've got we got some really cool stuff coming up with AI these days. Medical. I mean, some of the diagnostics now. I don't know if any of you have been reading about it, but we're really, if you've got kids today, the financial advisors, I think some senior guy at Chase said if you're less than 20 years old, you better plan on living to 120 because that statistically could be a reality. My children could live way into their hundreds, and you need to make a plan financially for that. So it's going to be a very interesting time at this point. We're in a very exciting time. That's why I geek out on all of this. I'm just really, really thrilled for it. Guys, if you have questions, do give me a call. If you're curious about how we could do this work for you, it's an affordable service. We'd love to be able to work with you. Definitely give us a buzz or drop Daniel or me or Eitan an email. The information is in the chat. And all that said, Terry.
Yes.
Okay, this is my favorite part of the meeting because at this point of the meeting, I'd like to look at all of you and say, it really was fun having you. It sure was great seeing you today, and I look forward to seeing all of you Friday, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time for another exciting episode of
Rain Nation.
There it is. Okay, Terry, you better make it to the meeting, or we'll be working all weekend. We'll never get off the thing. I'll stick around now for a little bit if in case anyone has additional questions, but the meeting is technically over. So go about your work. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Let's see.
Can you stay behind for a sec?
Sure.
Awesome.
Okay.
So yeah, well, I can give you a call. It's easier.
Hey, Andy, I think you and I are in the same boat regarding trying to encourage people from our farm to leave. So many people are happy where they are. I'm hoping that if and when interest rates drops, we might be able to encourage them. And I've also sent out a boatload last year of postcards, thousands of dollars, and not a peep. I just think it's because people are not leaving. So if anybody has suggestions on that.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's good. Well, it's open talk here with that. No more hands.
Oh, okay. Well, I had a question, but to answer her question, maybe considering some maybe adjacent neighborhoods that may not be as populated. I do that as well. But my question is, Ed, landing pages. I would like to maybe, I don't know who's doing that. It just seems like it might be a great idea because it seems like a lot of the services that are targeting agents are using landing pages for leads. So I was like, I thought about like, hey, why not try to create my own landing page to get these leads? And I had on my little thing today to try to speak with you about that, maybe talking more about that in the future.
Sure, love to. We're doing all that. I'll talk with Eitan. Eitan's on the technical side of this stuff, and he does a very good job at making things like that. One other thing, and I wish I shared this earlier. 10 years ago, when I wanted to make a floor plan, I had to call Home Depot Measuring Services. They were nice enough to schedule between 9 and 5. It wouldn't tell me exactly when they were going to come. I'd wait all day long. Some guy showed up at 3 o'clock. He worked till 7 o'clock and said that he has to come back tomorrow night. And this tomorrow during the day at some point, and then missed that. And then when I finally got him in the following week, it cost me $400 to make that floor plan. Today, there's an app called Flow Plan, which is free currently through my MLS, through my Realtors Association. I understand it's going up to a whopping $15 a scan. And what you do is you walk the house with the iPhone, you scan it, and then it gets sent off to the Philippines or to India or to someone on the back end that's working, and they do something with it to make an almost perfect floor plan. It really is a perfect marketing floor plan. I wouldn't say it's good for measurement or for architectural work, but it's really fantastic. What I do after I get listing appointments, I'll walk through the house, and Samantha and I just did this. And the guy, we had the CMA, and the guy said to me, well, I still have to decide. I'm like, great, do you mind if I make a floor plan for you? And I'm going to send it to you along with our revised comments about what we think the house is worth. And we did it just the very next day. We're getting the listing. I mean, the paperwork is out there. It's $1 million listing because no other competition is doing that right now. But just think about how much the world has changed. I used to have to go and wait for the schmuck and it took forever. Now 15 minutes and you send it off and it's done and it's free. Or how about when I started this, Pamela Fishman, the woman I was working with when I first got down here, she gave me on a Post-it note, I still have the Post-it note around here, a telephone number of a helicopter pilot in case you need aerial shots of your listings. But it's about $1,500 to $2,000 to get the aerial shots. So you got to save it for the big listings, so the big stuff. And he only flies out once a week and he does all the shots at one time. That guy's out of business. Now you could buy your own drone, or you could pay my drone guys $150 and he's too much. Okay, so look at those two things in just such a short time that's actually changed. And now, of course, AI making all this. We are rapidly changing, and you got to address this. Sherry, your pilot became a realtor. You see that? It's true that people forget. This was 5 minutes ago, guys. 5 minutes ago, and now it's all changed. So I think it's a very exciting time to be in the business. It can be a little scary. Yes, we are. Lots of components of us will be replaced. But not if I can help it. I'm going to do everything I can to embrace this and make it work. And Pat, I'd love to get together with you, maybe a Zoom meeting at some point.
Yeah, I just put an appointment in there.
Oh, good. Great minds think alike. Okay, guys, good to see everyone. Make it productive, and I hope to see everyone on Friday.
Happy Thanksgiving. See you Friday.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.